Hey everybody, I have a special treat for you today that just happened spontaneously because I just flew with this lovely human being that's over here next
Yes.
to me the other day. Hi, Hugh.
Hello, Jamie.
Yeah, so Hugh Chetwynd is a service director. We just did a lovely Honolulu flight together.
We did.
And he has been also working with the pension committee with our union, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And we just started chatting. And I said, oh my gosh, would you please, can I please interview you for the course? And you
Yes.
graciously agreed. And but before we begin, I want to just say something. One thing that I appreciate about you. Right on our briefing on our way to Honolulu, you were doing your amazing briefing, and then you said, you know what, like guys, and I'm paraphrasing, but you said like, there's always something we can do to make a difference. And I was just like, I love that about you.
Well,
You know,
it's a reminder for myself too. I'm not just talking to you. I'm reminding myself you have
yeah.
to try and it's hard to raise your game every day, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So it's a reminder for me too
yeah.
to make an effort and be conscious. Just be conscious about it.
And it feels good.
Yeah,
And that flight was it was such a lovely pairing and passengers,
it was.
yeah,
Like you said at the end,
yeah,
we had fantastic feedback from passengers throughout
right.
the aircraft, and that is a function of the four of us working together to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
So it is one of the things I always like about you too, Jamie, is your enthusiasm is infectious, and it's always a pleasure to see you on the crew. So
Thank you. Back at you.
yeah,
So, okay, so tell us for those of you, because this course is for there's all keep in mind there's all airlines in this course. We have people from
yes,
WestJet, American Airlines,
absolutely,
but so tell people like what it is you've been doing with the union,
yeah,
a little bit
yeah,
about your background.
for sure. Uh, yeah, so I've been a service director and flight attendant with Air Canada for 30 years. Got involved with the union for quite a while, variety of different roles, but the major one ended up being I was chairperson for all of Air Canada Flight Attendant Group for the pension committee
Okay.
for co-chair and chair for 15 years.
Wow.
So that really just meant, answering questions. Often, the odd person. Mostly, the pension works perfectly for everybody, and no one notices anything. That's the way it should.
Mhm.
But sometimes weird things happen, and people fall through the cracks. So we were there to help with that. And then also we met with the group of Air Canada employees because at the time there were about 60 to 80 people that managed the entire fund. And we met with them semi-annually to just get updates on what the plan was doing and their how they were investing the funds and just get a general understanding of what the markets were doing and what they were thinking about
Right.
and how they mitigated risk in the sense that they the great thing about a defined benefit pension plan is that it's part of its function is to forecast the needs of the beneficiaries. So you and I working, and this doesn't really matter that it's Air Canada, could be any defined
Yeah.
benefit pension plan anywhere.
Yeah.
But because it's formula based, which is one of the perks of the defined benefit pension plan system, is you can forecast what you're going to get as
Exactly.
your benefit in retirement.
Exactly.
But the pension plan fund and the people running the fund also use the formula to figure out. And for you and I, it's a benefit because we know we're going to get the money. But for them, it's a liability against the plan.
Mm.
But they know they can figure out 20 years in advance, roughly, what you are going to get and what I'm going to get. And they plan for it.
Exactly.
Now, ideally, we do the same things for ourselves. We're busy flight attendants or police officers or nurses or whomever you're speaking to, right? And finances and planning for your own financial future is maybe not in our wheelhouse. So this is where defined benefit pension plans are nice because there are professionals doing it 24 hours a day for you around the globe. Wonderful. And we're also beneficiaries of this as Canadian workers with the Canadian pension plan.
Hmm.
I mean, Americans have Social Security, and then we have also some investment vehicles like the TFSA, the tax-free savings account, and RRSPs for us. And the Americans have 401ks and Roth 401ks or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, but so the idea is that you can, yes. So that's what I did with the union. I did that for 15 years with the pension plan.
Okay.
Um, I had a little bit of my own financial history. This is partially how I got
I was
involved.
going to ask you that. How did you, yeah, how did,
So, I'm a product of the 90s, coming out of school and getting into the workforce in the 90s. So there were no online brokerages, and you could not invest by yourself, really. You had to have a broker, and you could only purchase mutual funds at the time. So I kept asking, why is my advisor not personally, like, independently wealthy? What is
mm-hmm,
happening? Why are they not independently wealthy? And then a few things happened. The tech bubble happened in 2000, lost about a lot, relatively speaking, not a lot of money in my lifetime. But at the time, lose half of my investment because the market dropped. And then Air Canada went through bankruptcy and they delisted their shares. So my employee shares went down to zero.
I lost those too. Yep.
Yeah. So that made me mad.
Yeah.
That's effectively what happened. I
Yeah.
was in my mid 20s. That made me mad. So then I just did a bunch of reading. And I asked a semi informed question because of that information I gathered over years at a union meeting. And the pension chair at the time had been the chair for 25 years and was kind of planning to retire
Mm-hmm.
in maybe a 5 or 10 year window. But the portfolio of pensions is kind of a complex one, so the training is long. So
Mm-hmm.
that he knew that he needed a contingency plan, and he needed 5 years to develop me.
Okay.
So I got voluntold.
Okay.
Right. So that's how
Yeah.
I got into that, and then obviously, as a result of being in the pension plan, I got a lot of interaction with flight attendants,
Yeah.
workers who are thinking about retiring.
Yeah.
And I think this is what you are also talking about with Beyond the Skies Academy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And did that kind of because one of the tips that I give in for the money section of the course is, read something like what you focus on expands. So, read something about money every single day, even if it's just Financial Times, or just read even 5 minutes a day, just read something.
Something.
You are focusing on it all the time. So did that help you as well inform your own finances and your own like budgeting and preparing for the future?
Yes, for sure. I mean, definitely for me personally. And of course, I have my career behind me by and large, like 30
Yeah,
years behind me. So life experience helps as well.
true.
So when you're young, hopefully you can learn a couple of things from, you and I, Jamie, having this conversation, so that you can speed up some of that process to
Yes.
find yourself in a better position. And I think what sparked, we were just quickly talking on our flight, but I think what really maybe interested you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
even though I was focused on numbers and finances and all that, and people were always coming to me with the numbers, 95% or more of the people that came to me concerned about their retirement, we would talk about the numbers, but it wasn't the numbers that was the
Mm.
problem.
Tell me more about that.
Yes, it is being socially and emotionally prepared to do something else. And
Wow.
you need to develop hobbies. You have to have something else more desirable than your job that defines you.
So they're coming into you to talk about money, but really they're opening up about other areas of their lives. Is that what was happening?
Yeah, you would just find them just get stuck, and they would call me over and over and over again about the numbers.
Hmm.
And it's just not the numbers
They're not the
most of
number.
the
They're
time.
more. They're,
It's
yeah.
not the numbers.
Yeah.
It's not the numbers. So that's the biggest takeaway I took from
Wow.
the training, that
Wow.
95% of the people are talking to me, focusing on the numbers, but it's not the numbers.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly why I put this course together, like I told you.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. And you're totally correct to do so, because
yeah.
it is that's the biggest thing.
Hmm.
Now,
Fascinating. Yeah.
that being said, the numbers still do sort of matter. You still need to
Yes.
live, and you
Yep.
have to be comfortable and in a place where you are, relaxed enough to operate without the strain and stress of not having enough to make ends meet.
Exactly. So, what do you recommend for people who are like, they've got a 10 or more year
Mhm.
window? Like, what do you recommend?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the big thing right there. You're saying it right away. Is most of the people that would come to talk to me as the pension chair were coming to me with 2 or 3 years before retirement.
Mm,
And for numbers, if you want to change your numbers, you need more time than that.
right.
Like if you want to change them significantly. You need more time than that because you need to, pull some different levers
Yeah.
to have enough to make your ends meet that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
But we will talk a little bit about some of the strategies on that. So,
Please.
yeah. So the biggest thing is, for Canadians anyway, you've got the CPP. You can predict what you're going to get based on your years of contribution.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly for Air Canada flight attendants, many of us are fortunate to have a pension plan at all. Some of us have the legacy defined benefit pension plan. Some of us have the hybrid plan, which is a mix between defined benefit and defined contribution. But it's only 38% of working Canadians have a pension plan at all.
Wow, I did not know that. Wow, so
Yeah,
we are lucky.
very lucky. And that includes all of the public sector. So you're talking nurses, police officers, government bureaucrats, all of those people that have government pension plans, that's included in the 38% of working Canadians.
Wow.
So most private sector workers don't have a pension plan.
Mm.
So that is stressful.
That is stressful, yeah.
And you do have to plan for that.
Exactly.
So there are calculators. Your pension plan, our pension plan has a formula. Calculate that out, find out, you predicted your hours of work and multiply by the years of pensionable service and you get a number.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, now it's amazing. It literally tells you how much you're getting, the new system.
Totally.
Like just what, and that was when I was like, oh my God, that's not enough.
Right. Now the CPP also has a calculator for that.
Okay.
It's called the CRIC, CRIC. If you look up Canada Pension Plan Calculator, you'll find it. You can forecast what you're going to get from the CPP.
Okay, perfect.
Old age security is another. This is for Canadians as well. Old age security is currently around $800 a month.
Okay.
Okay. So you can kind of add all these things up.
Yeah.
And then you can see if that, and you just kind of figure out what you think. Do it in today's dollars because it's what you understand, what we all understand.
Mm-hmm.
Do it in today's dollars and based on what we think your life per month would cost. And ideally, you get to a spot where you have less debt. Your mortgage is a little less. You've paid off a car, that kind of thing. You try and get that out of the way if you can.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not always possible. So you just got to figure out what the numbers are that line up for you.
Exactly.
Now, the easy way. So then the two questions in retirement from money or for, the numbers is how much do I need and for how long? These are the two primary questions.
Right.
And how much you kind of have to sit down and think with yourself or your partner and say, okay, what do we need? How much do we live on? What do we want to do in a travel? All these kinds of things. Get an estimate. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's rough. But then you have to ask yourself how long, and then you don't really know. The retirement industry kind of talks about 42 years.
Okay.
Because if you retire at 60, you're unlikely to live past 102.
Right.
Which would put you at 102. But so if you leave at 55, and not many people do leave at 55. Most people, I think for flight attendants, it's about 58.
Okay.
60, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
For almost everybody. That's the average. I think only 1% of us retire before 55. Something like that, historically. And now with the new pension rules, they won't. So basically nobody's retired before 55. So 55 gets you to 97 with the 42 years.
Okay.
So we use that because you can kind of save for that amount of time.
Exactly.
Okay. So there's a really nice formula. So we're going to work in thousands of dollars. So let's say your CPP is $2,000 and your pension is $2,000. You're $4,000 a month. OAS is $800. So now you're at $4,800 a month. So that's not terrible. Certainly for a flight attendant group, that's more than half the flight attendants are making.
Yeah.
And you're gardening and riding your bicycle.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When does CPP kick in though?
You can move it around a little bit.
Okay.
So you can go as early as 60.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And you can push it as late as 70.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. You have to take all of your retirement benefits the year you turn 71.
Got it. Okay.
In Canada.
Okay.
But then you're like, okay, let's say I need another $1,000 a month. So 40 hours of work at $25 an hour. That's $1,000.
There you go. I love that.
Okay. So that's 1 week of work at 25 hours.
Okay. Oh, you're cutting out. You're cutting out. You're cutting out. Damn it. This is so good.
We just repeat it.
Okay, you cut out there, but
Yeah.
that was so good. Keep going. Okay.
Yeah. So if you think you need another $1,000 a month, because you've done your math, you've figured out, okay, my pension's going to be roughly this, my my CPP's roughly.
You're cutting out again.
Cutting out again.
I don't know if it's me or you, but anyway, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. Old age security and CPP are indexed, which is very nice. So you don't have to worry about inflation. And I'm actually manage my mother's retirement, who is
Okay.
82.
Okay.
And I have to say, the Canadian government, fantastic. Indexation happens fast. So that when inflation spiked in June of 2023, I think it was, went up a lot. Like people noticed your groceries went up really fast in June and July. Well, the government responded really quickly. So as far as your income flow from CPP and old age security is concerned, like immediately the government responds and indexes that up to cover you so that you are immune to inflation.
Okay.
So that's wonderful for Canadians.
That is, yeah.
It is not going to make you rich. It's not meant to do that.
No.
It is meant to cover the basics: food, shelter, and looking after yourself.
Yeah.
Healthcare. That's what it's for. But you don't have to worry when food goes up by 8% in 1 year, like it did, or 6% in 1 year.
Exactly.
So that's really nice. And my mom really appreciated that. You know, she's in her 80s. She's not going to go work 40 hours a week at 82.
No. Well, that's
right?
it, right?
So that option's not for her.
Right.
Now, if you are thinking about this early enough and you have 5 or 10 years, this is a really nice one. We're going to use the number 250,000, but the number is actually 240,000.
Okay.
But 250,000 is an easy one to remember.
Okay.
Earning 4% on return, which is very easy to do in the broad markets. You don't have to do anything risky. You just do it over time, get up to $250,000. That will generate $1,000 a month for 42 years.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Yeah. So $250,000 earning 4%.
4%.
Because you're going to draw it down when you do $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
It's about 5%. So you can see it's making 4, but you're taking 5. But it will last for 42 years. So if you and your partner need $2,000 a month to have the lifestyle you want, because you want to travel quite a bit,
yeah,
then $500,000. That's kind of what you have to. That's the way to think about it. And that means, like, if you're getting $1,000 a month from CPP, that's equivalent of you having $250,000 in the bank.
Right. Exactly.
Invested.
And that's why everybody I've talked to is like, get debt free as soon as possible so that you can start saving that, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So you want to live within your means.
Yeah.
That's right.
I believe that so much.
So you want to live within your means, have a little bit of a surplus, and plan to do the same thing in your retirement. And then you've got a cushion.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. That is so brilliant. And that makes it feel doable and it's like practical. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are already at 18 minutes, but this is so important. So is there anything else you want to say? Anything else that really stuck to you from your years of, that you just want to, one last piece of advice?
Yeah. No, I think, it's not, you don't need as much as you think you do.
Okay.
In retirement.
Yeah.
You really don't. Everybody's worried about it a lot, but you don't need as much as you think. And you plan for spending. And there's kind of 3 phases of retirement everybody talks about in the industry as well. The go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. So no-go, later in your life, you're probably just spending on healthcare kind of things, right? But you're not really traveling and jet setting around particularly.
Yeah.
But you can also adjust what you expect to need.
Right.
Based on those things. But don't stress about it too much. There's a lot of systems are there for you. And Canadians are very fortunate because you're bound to have 4 or 5 streams of income in retirement.
Okay.
You have CPP, OAS, GIS if you really need it. You have a couple of savings vehicles, maybe a pension plan from work, defined contribution or defined benefit, and maybe a TFSA or RRSP. Well, if you have 5 streams of income in retirement, if one of them dries up, you don't care that much.
Yeah.
So that relieves a lot of stress.
It does.
And stress-free makes you allows you to live a long life, healthy life.
It really, really does. It really does. Yeah. You make better decisions from that place. Yeah.
So the Canadian system is quite well respected internationally for that.
It's awesome.
So we're very fortunate for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love
Yeah.
this. And then, they've got support anytime. When they retire too, they can always reach out, right? Still
Yes,
to for support. So
of
yeah,
course. Yeah.
amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
thank you
I hope
so
all
much.
of your participants around the world can, that math works everywhere because it's
Yeah.
just simple math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go back and rewatch that if you need it as much times as you need it, everybody. And that was really, really great. You brought me a lot of peace. So thank you so much, Hugh, for being here and
Pleasure,
just for
Jamie.
just for who you are. And
Likewise, Jamie,
yeah,
and I'll gladly fly with you anytime, buddy.
you too, man. All
Yeah.
right.
Have a good one. See you,
Thanks
Jamie.
again, Hugh.
Cheers. Bye bye.